Hi, everybody. Welcome to Film Roll, and we're here talking about Jurassic World. This is our spoiler review. If you don't want spoilers for the movie, please go to the regular review, which has no spoilers, where we give our rating. This is just kind of to flesh out what we thought after you guys have seen the movie. So, go to that video.
It's in the description.
It is indeed. Now, 3, 2, 1. Spoilers. The amazing T-Rex fight at the end with this incredible Indominus Rex. Guys, I was out of my seat.
Did you wait? Hang on. Did you know? I can't remember the guy in the control room, but when she told him to open the door, did you know exactly who was behind there?
No.
I didn't either.
Well, I thought about it. I was like, I thought I knew. And
I was like, oh, that's right. The king is still there.
Well, and it's cool because like you see her, she's like all scarred up too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, is that the one from the original movie? Do we know if that's the one from the original movie? I thought it was. And it was so cool to see her like coming out and owning it. I didn't get right away it was going to be that. For a second, I thought it was Spinosaurus from JP3. You never know. I was a little worried. But then it was about to. I was like, okay, T-Rex fighting. This thing is so much bigger than it, and it almost killed it. I was so happy that it didn't go the route of Jurassic Park 3, where they killed the T-Rex in the first like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because that was so anticlimactic, and the T-Rex is such an iconic feature of this franchise that it was really cool to see it given a gravitas. Well, it wasn't totally hero worshipping it. It was kind of like, we know what you are.
The one thing that I guess I shouldn't say bother me during that thing, but is when you hear the raptor call and then it's running slightly in slow motion.
Yeah.
That was the only time in the movie I was like, you know what I mean? It wasn't bad, but it was still just kind of not groan worthy at all.
Yeah.
But just kind of like, I maybe wouldn't have made it quite that. Like, here it comes running in slow motion to say, I mean, it was still awesome, but I don't know.
I think a slow motion shot would have been cool if a dinosaur would have jumped up and another dinosaur jump up and it like grabbed one and it fell to the ground and then they started fighting. That would have been an acceptable slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
But this kinds of movies, if you put a slow motion effect in, it's like saying that you don't really know the best way to make this action worthy or intense. So we're just going to throw in slow motion. Whereas Mad Max, they knew how to do it, so they didn't need as much slow motion.
Agreed.
So that's kind of like slow motion. But sometimes they do it right. Like Dread, they had unacceptable.
Like, I think I would have been, like, what you were saying might have been cool. Like, what if you heard the raptor cry and then it jumped and then it had the shot of it hitting the floor and then its talons did this again like it did in the first one and then it jumped. I don't know.
That'd be pretty cool. No, that's a really good point. They said they used it slow motion differently than in Mad Max, but I think Mad Max worked better because in that shot, there's nothing new that we're seeing. It's just the Velociraptor coming in. If we see the Velociraptor jumping, and this is kind of nitpicking, but I get what you guys are saying. Overall, I think there were parts of that scene that worked really well, namely how the Mosasaur finished it off.
Oh, and that shot was like less than like how many seconds long?
That was incredible. Yeah. But
here's a question: Jurassic World final battle or Godzilla final battle?
Jurassic World final battle.
At the end of Godzilla, I was just kind of like, oof.
I feel like Godzilla is a movie where I really enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. I think I like the build up to it even more.
Yeah, I agree with that.
People really hate how it cut away.
The final battle in this movie was pretty sweet.
It was amazing.
And it didn't look all that fake. Like, they pulled off the CGI in that final battle pretty well.
Yeah, well, because it was mostly shot at night, where in the original Jurassic Park, all the dinosaur fight scenes are shot at night, so that you can't tell it's really bad CG. It's not amazing CG.
There's a little trick for you, folks.
Low lighting. You don't have to do much color correction. So it's able to look more realistic. I think the way that it was shot was really well done. With Godzilla, you're building up so much to that, it's impossible to have low expectations for it. With Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World, I should say, things slowly build to the crescendo of them fighting. So it seems like a natural progression while not the only thing the movie's building up to.
It was just, I think I felt like more like, oh, this is going to be sweet. I got that feeling more of in Jurassic World when she opens that door and she's standing there with the flare and it kind of comes in the shot. Mm-hmm. The T-Rex, that is sweet. I felt that was more part of my childhood.
Oh, sure.
So I felt a little bit more like, oh, this is going to be sweet, or this is so cool, than I did Godzilla. Not saying that was a bad fight, but I don't know.
No, yeah, I agree.
Okay, I got to get on this right now. The death of the terrible babysitter was one of the greatest highlights of the finale besides the fight.
I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was great. And that's when we were talking in our non-spoilers review about the scene that where Matt and I just like grinned at each other and started laughing, was that scene. Because someone who's so irresponsible, it's funny because the action contrasts with what she's saying. That's part of the comedy of it, is that she's telling them like calm down and come to her. and she's in the most unsafe position of all now.
And who was standing on a table while these things were grabbing people, and she was
Oh.
like the highest end? Why would you do that?
Yeah,
I did wonder that actually, but
I was like, why are you standing on that
the
table?
same reason why she wears white.
the same reason why she wears heels. But
And I did actually hear something about that. Don't quote me on this. You'll have to do your own research, all right? Because I don't want to say anything that's not true. I think maybe I heard that someone had an idea or theory of why they had her wear all white, because there was a director or someone who was in charge of something with the Disney World park or something that would always wear all white, and they always thought that was ridiculous. Because it's just her, character was, at the beginning was corporate business, boom, 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 money signs, right?
Yep.
So that's what I heard. Do your research. That's all I can say about it, because I don't want to say anything that's not true.
that's super funny. Breaking news, everyone. Jurassic World, Bryce Dallas Howard character based off Disney World host. Anyways, no, that's really true. I think her character is so different from anything that we'd seen in Jurassic Park. She was almost like the lawyer,
Yeah.
And it's funny because usually the lawyer is the first one to get off in Jurassic Park. She was the main heroine. And I like that the movie stayed with her and didn't choose to focus on Chris Pratt more. It really stayed, and it made us connect with Bryce Dallas Howard more. She was really good, I thought. I've heard mixed opinions on her. I enjoyed her character. What did you guys think of Bryce Dallas Howard?
Your thoughts?
No, you know what? She did not in any way bug me during the movie. There was nothing groan inducing for me. I like her as an actress. I thought, I heard a lot of nitpicky things about this movie and about the acting or what have you. But, I enjoyed her character. It was a little distracting that she was not distracting, but she was wearing white in this jungle environment. But it does not get quite as white. And she is running in heels away from that T-Rex.
That whole clothes thing, they kind of carried on with that when they went by the waterfall, and then she took off her jacket and made this jungle suit out of it. That's when she kind of was like, this isn't a very good clothes. I'm going to make it a little more realistic. So they kind of...
And they didn't bring it up all the time, where it was like, oh, you're wearing white, or if you didn't wear this. They didn't bring up the heels the whole time. It was brought up once, right? By the waterfall?
Yeah, it was brought by the waterfall. And then it was nice to see, because I've heard complaints even from female film critics who talk about how she shouldn't be wearing high heels. That's so stereotypical.
Yeah.
I liked it. I think it was a nice kind of throwback to old Hollywood, where the main female lead was in high heels. She's is this icon. I thought that it was nice to see her not defined by her clothes. Because she's wearing the white because she's in corporate, right? She doesn't go out into the park. But it's cool to see that she's not defined by the limits any clothes or stereotypes put on her. Is that she's able to do these amazing things despite not being in the optimal outfit or the optimal thing, because that's not what's important to her anymore.
Okay.
It changes from survival to rescuing the kids. It's no longer being stylish, which I really enjoyed about her character.
And when she got the dinosaur at the end, when she used the flare, she didn't take her heels off. And I was like, are you going to try to run away from this massive dinosaur and those things? And she did.
It was really silly, but I kind of enjoyed it. I have to admit it.
So Chris Pratt, it's more like subtle humor. It's not always quite right up in your face. It's not quite physical comedy, but it's more of when there's a funny scene, it's not like a Ben Stiller where, hey, obvious joke. It's just his mannerisms and stuff like that. If he's in anything, people are going to talk about Parks and Rec, of course, and then Star-Lord. And again, right now, there's no way really to get around that. Through the whole movie, I didn't say, oh, there's Star-Lord or whatever. I said, hey, there's Chris Pratt. And he was still really, we told him we already talked about in our other review of how he was on that motorcycle with raptors. Now, that's pretty cool. And so that wasn't necessarily a funny thing. Would Star-Lord do that? I don't know. Well,
maybe. He'd have raccoons.
You have
He
raccoons.
flied in space to try to get his cassette player.
There you go.
So, there you go.
With the Raptors.
And he was much more sarcastic on that one, obviously.
I think Pratt really owned this role. I didn't buy he'd been in the Navy. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
From the way he
I don't
handled
know
himself.
about that part.
If he was in Marines, maybe I'd buy it. But I like that they didn't make him the main character. I liked it was much more of an ensemble with a focus on Bryce Dallas Howard and the kids. He was a really good supporting role, but he also had his time to shine and his focus and his beats to hit, and he did it admirably. I loved the Velociraptor stuff they did. I loved that they changed motivations halfway through, and that made it completely unpredictable. And the emotion that he exhibited between him and the Raptors, where they're almost like his pets, but he respects them. And I like how they're not safe, they're not tame. They're very vicious creatures, and they almost...
And you know what? Sorry to interrupt you, but you felt... It was... you felt that emotion and sadness when they're in and they're finding the dinosaur. Sorry, I forgot the name of it, the correct name. And they're hunting it with the raptors, and that's the whole thing with the alpha male switches. And Chris Pratt is able to stop the one raptor, like you realize who he is, and there's that really kind of that tender moment of still respect, and then the raptor gets blown up by the missile.
It's really sad.
That is actually sad. I was like, oh okay.
They did a good job at hiding the part raptor. Like, they kind of had the dinosaur hide most of the movie, and they didn't really show it fully until that part.
Yeah.
Until they realized.
You know what sorry, again, I'm interrupting people.
Jeez, Levi.
But what I just realized is that they show the full dinosaur in the trailer.
Yeah, they do. In
That
the
is
helicopter, the third trailer helicopter.
I didn't make that connection.
Yeah.
I just
I
thought it was
didn't.
another one.
No, I didn't see. I didn't get it either. I was thinking it was part human the entire time. Like they mixed human DNA into it, so it's got some sentience to it. That's what I was trying to get out. So I was kind of hoping it'd be human DNA because in the original,
That would have been really something.
it'd be different. I don't know if it would have worked. I like the decision to film it partly with GoPros when the Raptors had the cameras on them.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That built
yeah.
up such utility
That-
because you don't know where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
That put like a war movie type style in a Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah, but it worked. It really worked to up
Yeah.
the thrill.
That was cool.
Mm-hmm. It was like you're looking from the perspective of the killer, and you can tell that.
But also having those three other movies also help you realize how unstable and dangerous those raptors are.
That's true. Yeah, and I think Jurassic Park 2 mainly helped
Yeah.
with that. And I think there are redeemable elements in the Lost World that do help. But if you just see Jurassic Park 1 and then see this movie, I think that's the same idea too.
Sure.
It's kind of funny
But
how
that'd be okay.
these little dinosaurs could take out this massive dinosaur, but like 15 guns couldn't.
Yeah. It's the magic of
that's-
dinosaurs.
That's one thing that's kind of iffy.
Oh, wow.
Oh, one other thing.
Oh, sure.
Two. Now we're talking spoilers.
Mhm.
The brothers
The
taking
brothers.
the hamster ball off-road through the broken gate.
Yes.
Your thoughts?
They're young. They're like senior high and whatever. I don't really know their age. But anyways, they're at that age where you do stupid things because it sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And that's what they did. And normally it bites you in the butt, and that's what it did. So it was just young kids doing a stupid thing. I think that was a cool, nice plot
Mhm.
I think
twist. They could do some pretty cool things off of that, like do that whole we gotta go rescue them, and then they hide by the car, and Chris Pratt has the gun, and they're hunting it while trying to find these kids. It put a whole new twist to the movie.
One thing that you quickly talked about comparing the two siblings in the first one. Something that they maybe could have done is had the younger brother, because he was supposed to be the dinosaur expert.
Mhm.
So maybe when they're going through the woods, they would show that dinosaur, and he would be throwing out all these facts about it, like, oh, these ones are okay. Look out for the big, heavy tails. They might be able to break through this indestructible.
And it would have been cool. He's smart about dinosaurs, so he could have like said, okay, this is their weakness. We could do this to help the dinosaur get away from us so we can get out. There could have been like a cool thing that the younger kid could figure out this strategy that they're going to use to get away from it
Mm.
because he knows so much about it.
Yeah, but
But yet we didn't really know what kind of dinosaur it was.
right, and also like that's a cool idea on paper. I think in like the book context it would have worked.
Okay.
In a movie context, like they're on an island full of dinosaur experts. No one else could have figured that out.
Okay.
Like that opens up so many plot holes for like the magic kid solution. Where and this is one of the things I have with like Jurassic Park is that only the kid knows how to run the computer at the end of it, which is really silly. But it works in the drama of the movie, and I think if they had done it right in Jurassic World, that could have worked. I love the hamster ball scene
Mm-hmm.
that they take off road because, granted, it's a really weird idea to have these things in the
When it's spinning really
and it's
fast.
spinning really fast, and I thought it was a really different way to show the peril.
It was a different type of tension knowing that it's supposed to really be heavy duty, indestructible, but it was like not more tension, but it's saying like how much can this take before it breaks?
Right.
Then if it
Yeah.
was just in a Jeep, like the first one.
Yeah, well, and too, what's cool about the Jeep scene is that glass wasn't supposed to break.
Mm-hmm.
So that was all like the actual kids were really afraid because this dinosaur is so heavy. That's all real fear.
Spielberg just took
yeah.
the thing and boom.
And these
Yep.
things are trackable. So when they were tracking the things, why didn't they see, oh, this ball's going out of the territory, so we should probably go save it while we're getting all these people back?
Because they were distracted with the pterodactyls and the they were
Remember
looking.
the cell
there
phones
was,
didn't
like-
work either.
There was
Yeah,
like
they were
how
looking
many
for the
people in there? You think one person would have glanced at the screen and saw this thing
But-
moving out of the
But there's a giant
territory.
killer dinosaur on the loose. It's a big killer. That was one of those like, I could look at, Dumbo, or I could look at the serial killer moving through Magic Kingdom.
All right, so kind of in closing, real quick, one thing. What did you think about the whole divorce talk with the brothers?
The fourth star was it was okay. It was like it was good. I wish we had more time to get to know the brothers because I feel like the older one's
More of an
underdeveloped.
impact. Right.
Yeah, right. The older one was just like a horny jerk, and the young one was just a cute science nerd that didn't really.
Little guy.
He was so sweet, and the kid acts like he's like 28, but he is actually like really, really young. He was in
Right.
Insidious and he was in Iron Man 3, so he is really young. He's a very good actor. Ty Simpkins, great. Love you. Facebook friend me. So there we go. Jurassic World, loved it, guys. Overall, I think its positives outweigh its negatives. What do you think?
I agree.
Yep.
Go see
Agree.
it.
Yep.
Yep.
Go see it. It's good.
Our battery's running dead. So this has been Film Roll's review of Jurassic World. Go enjoy it. Have fun. Keep loving movies, guys. Bye.
Later.